In this demonstration, we're going to show how the Boardwalk application engine can be used to support a compliance tracker for a hospitality customer. In this particular use case, you can see that there's multiple accountants and multiple managers that are collecting information from a bunch of different properties across a territory, identified with an ID number, across multiple states, different jurisdictions. And then as you move to left to right, you can see the types of information that needs to be collected in terms of when should the information be collected, tax information, when information should be mailed out, really anything that has to do with compliance information for particular properties. And the problem was they needed to be able to collect all this information from all these users and at the same time have it consolidated with change tracking. And they were emailing files around. It was very difficult to do it manually. So they turned to Boardwalk in order to support the ability to have multiple people work on the same data at the same time. You're able to take information, in this case this compliance tracker, and using the authoring tools included with Boardwalk, add some commands on top to make it so you can submit and refresh, and I'll show you how that works in a minute, plus see how change history works. But then you can take any one of the columns that are associated with the process and say, I'd like to use those to control access for the data. So in this case, you can see that I have different users that are interacting with this data, and I'd like to make it so that different users only see specific information. So you can see here JB Preparer is going to see only the information for our accountant Mary, whereas the JB Reviewer, which is what we're logged in as right now, sees everything. And you can see that you can use different things like by state, by jurisdiction, by payment frequency. But based on that, if I now go ahead and say let's move from the Reviewer view to the Preparer view, then in the Preparer view, I'm now opening this up, but I only see Mary's information. I don't see anything else. And the way that happens is when we distribute the tracker or any Boardwalk template, there's a welcome page that says this is the template and the process or the application that's been built. The user clicks on download template, and then whoever they are when they log in dictates what information is populated in the sheet. And it's not like the data is hidden. The data is literally not inside this workbook. It's only the information for Mary. So now Mary can go in and make changes and say these are more changes. Maybe I'll take another copy and paste this here. I'll go over here and change this to 0.27 because it's gone up a little bit. And then I'll change the status of this one to be completed. Now you'll notice that I've got other ones here that I'm trying to change, but I can't change because from a workflow perspective you can set it up so that you're able to change some things and not other things. And you're also able to go in and do workflows such that if I change this to be need approval, for example, that suddenly this row shows up in another person's workbook that otherwise is not there. But otherwise, when you're completed, even after you've gone in and reviewed different reports and things like that that are inside the workbook, you can say, okay, I'm going to submit my change. And when I submit my change, it says, who are you? So I log in, and then I say, these are my updates. And as I do these updates, it detects what's been changed, and only the net changes are pushed to the server. And now they're available for every other user, or they could be pushed out to an external application like Tableau or Click or one of the other ones. So now I've gone back as JB Reviewer. When I say refresh, now it asks me to log in, and the login can be through single sign-on, or whatever authentication mechanism is currently used by the company. But as I do that, you see that these cells have updated, and now I'm able to see the values that were done and the changes that were done. And here this is telling me that this was completed. If I come over here and scroll, I can see that this change right here went from 0.25 to 0.7, and you can see this change icon right here that shows you that the update was done. And then you can go into any cell and say, I want to be able to look at the history of that cell. So I've clicked on that cell, and then I say, show me the history of that over the past month. And it'll look in the database, and it'll show me what are the changes that have been done, and who did them, and what was the comment that was associated with this. Because what's happening in the background is the database is actually tracking updates by every user. So if I come in here and I say, show me the changes to this, compliance tracker over the past month, it'll go back and find all the changes that have been done by all the users and present that in a report for me here where I can go in and say, I want to know, did people add rows, delete rows, update cells, make changes, do anything else? And just like with the cell history, you're able to go in and say, reproduce this as of any time, or maybe compare two updates against each other, or take one of these updates and push it to an external system. Or, of course, you have all the reporting capability built inside of Excel where you can see that information, and all of this is updated automatically as soon as the refresh happens, because the Boardwalk database is consolidating all the information automatically. Thank you.